Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wished for, a blueprint for a happier, more meaningful life? Well, today we're going to explore exactly that, but through the really profound lens of the Islamic framework. So let's dive in and see what this blueprint is all about. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get on the same page about what a better life even is in this context. Then we'll dig into the foundation of faith, which is absolutely key. After that, we'll look at the three big pillars of character, talk about the art of balance, and finally, see how all of this completely flips the script on what it means to be truly successful. But before we get into all the nitty-gritty, let's just pause on this one big question. What does a good life actually mean? I mean, people have been wrestling with that for thousands of years, right? Today, we're going to zero in on one specific, time-tested perspective. Okay, so let's jump into section 1 and define the goal. It's just like any project. Before you can start building, you've got to know what the finished product is supposed to look like. The term we need to know is hayat tayyibah, which basically translates to a good life. Now, what's so interesting here is that this has nothing to do with how much money you have or what your job title is. It's all about an internal state, a life defined by faith, a really deep sense of contentment, and just inner peace. That's the goal we're building toward, which is a huge shift from how many of us think about success today. So, if Hayat Tayyibah is the amazing house we're trying to build, what's it all sitting on? Well, that brings us to the foundation, the cornerstone of the whole structure. According to this blueprint, faith isn't just another brick in the wall, it's the solid ground everything is built on. The idea is that real, lasting success and happiness are rooted in belief in God, Allah, and in following that spiritual guidance. Without that foundation, the whole thing is, well, pretty shaky. Okay, so our foundation is solid. Now it's time to put up the main supports. This next part is all about the three pillars of character. And this is where it gets really practical. These are the daily actions, the habits that give life its strength and meaning. And here they are, plain and simple: righteous deeds, noble character, and serving others. Now, these aren't just nice ideas to think about. They're meant to be put into practice every single day. Let's take a closer look at each one. First up, we've got righteous deeds. And the key word here is consistent. This isn't about some huge heroic act you do once. It's about the small good things we do over and over again. A kind word, a little bit of charity. The belief is that these consistent actions are what really purify the soul and bring blessings into your life. Pillar number 2 is noble character. This is all about the internal stuff, our patience, our honesty, our kindness. These qualities are seen as absolutely central to a successful life. It's like a daily workout for your soul, consciously choosing to be patient instead of angry, for example. And the third pillar, which I think is just brilliant, is serving others. This really shows how community-focused this whole framework is. The idea here is that a truly meaningful life isn't lived just for yourself. Taking care of your community and helping others is a direct path to finding your own purpose. So, we have our foundation and our pillars. But any good builder knows a structure has to be able to handle some stress, right? That brings us to the art of balance, which is all about navigating the craziness of life without falling over. This slide really captures a struggle I think we all feel, juggling our daily duties with our bigger spiritual goals. The approach here isn't to pick one or the other. It's about harmony. It's about crushing it in your daily life, your job, your family, while always keeping that ultimate long-term purpose in view. That balance is a daily practice. But let's be real. How do you stay balanced when things get tough? Well, this quote right here gives us the secret weapon: patience. But not just passively waiting around. Here, patience is an active tool. It's what gives you resilience. It's what keeps you standing strong during life's inevitable storms. All right, let's start to bring it all together. Every single blueprint has a final purpose, right? A true north that everything is pointed towards. So what's the ultimate goal of this entire structure we've been talking about? Let's look at how this framework totally redefines success. And this is where things might feel very different from our modern ideas. In this framework, success isn't ultimately measured by your bank account or your job title. Nope. The true measure of a successful life is a positive outcome in the hereafter. Everything else we've talked about, faith, good deeds, character, balance, it's all pointed toward that one ultimate goal. So let's do a super quick recap of our blueprint. The goal: that amazing state of inner peace and contentment, Hayat Tayyibah. The foundation: an unshakable faith. The pillars, holding it all up: good deeds, a noble character, and serving others. And the method to keep it all strong: that daily practice of balancing our life here with our focus on the hereafter. Let's end on this powerful quote that just wraps everything up so perfectly. A better life is a life of faith, purpose, and inner peace directed toward the hereafter. So the final question this blueprint really leaves us with isn't just what are you building with your life, but maybe more importantly, why are you building it? Something to think about.